Alright, the full course is going to consist of like 39 different pieces, 39 different pieces of material to study from anyway. So there are like 39, at least 39 different openings that we're going to have to go over. So because of that, we figured why not give you another sample for the upcoming course. Um, this one is called Blue Mojito Attack. Um, it's going to be probably one of the only few gambits for black that a beginner would be able to play. Um, Other than maybe like say the Botman Carl's counter gambit. Other than that gambit, I've already talked about it. Yeah, I mean it's technically a gambit, but it's one of the main lines of the Caracan. But other than that, this is one of the very few gambits that a beginner would be able to play. Um, so I had to do a little bit of extra research just to make this work. Anyway, so the Blue Mojito attack, the way it works is basically the inverse variation of the Trompowsky. And the main line here is that he'll usually just try to kick the bishop, and then you're going to just take and just sacrifice the bishop. What I was thinking of trying to put together was that when you put the when you put the rest of the moves together, right? Because like it's supposed to be like the way it was supposed to work. You were supposed to make it into basically a stonewall structure after the bishop sacrifice. As it turns out, that's not necessarily viable because of this pawn. Oh, sorry, because of this pawn. Because of this pawn, it's not very viable to go for a fully stonewall structure because he's going to castle and then the rook is going to invade this way. And the problem with that is this pawn, when it pushes up here, it's gonna be a backwards pawn because these are where the pawns are supposed to be for a normal stonewall structure anyway. So I ended up having to come up with an emergency alternative. And this is the emergency alternative that I'm presenting to you. E6, bishop d3. This is the and then he'll take and he'll take and he takes. Basically, we're going to instead go for this type of stonewall structure. I think I'm pretty sure the well the bishop will go here, but I'm pretty sure the knight goes somewhere along the lines of like it was a here or here. It was a here or here. I can't recall. But basically the knight would go here instead, and then you would just castle, and then that would be your entire structure. That this would be your entire structure, and then it would still play pretty much like a system, but it's far less yeah, there's far fewer moves to remember. It's a quicker system to set up, and we're not gonna worry about this pawn move. We're just not gonna worry about this pawn move at all. Instead, we're gonna push this pawn. We're gonna push this pawn, and then we're gonna push a pawn storm here, and then the rest of the game just, and then you're gonna have a normal game of chess from there. bishop takes c5, castles, knight c6. There we go. This is the structure you're gonna put together. Yeah, just put this together, and then probably knight g7. Yeah, the knight goes there, and then you castle. That's your structure. You don't need to know much else. You don't need to know much else. That's your structure. And then there you go. You already have your structure ready to go. You just, I mean, you technically could castle. Another way you could handle this is just play the queen here. But the problem with that is, another way you could handle this is you could put your queen here. But as you can see, there are no games that are played like this, so you'll be on your own. But yeah, they typically castle here, and then f4 is what they, as long as white is sensible, that's what they're gonna play. And then you just bring your bishop back a little bit. You're not gonna push this pawn. You're not gonna push this pawn. You're gonna push this pawn instead. h6. There you go. a6. It's just starting to encroach on the flanks a little bit here. Put the rooks together. Put the rooks in the middle. a4, g6, rook d1. And then the last move you need to remember is that you kind of have to get your king into the action a little bit. But other than that, there's another system that I could see myself playing in this. Let's see if I can find it. No, was it this one? I mean, in the event that, well, this is the line that I was thinking of when we were doing this, and then maybe, I mean, you technically could get the Stonewall structure going this way, but you have to be aware that I mean, it's not the full Stonewall structure yet because the pawn has to be here, but you're already going to be a little bit out of luck because your queen is his queen is just gonna take care, and yeah, it's already not looking good. And just as you should castle, queen a6, get the king out to the line of fire. I mean, you're pretty winning here, if you know what you're doing. Oh. I mean, this is a natural move that he's gonna make. This is a natural move that he's gonna make, and then at that point you'll be winning. You sacrifice an entire rook. You sacrifice an entire rook, and then you'll be winning. You win your queen that way, and then you're just gonna bully your opponent's king into submission. There you go. Yeah, there you go. I mean, here, I mean, look, in the actual course that we're gonna put together, I mean, it is going to be paid content, but once the course goes live, you will have a link with access to all the PGN data that you're going to see here. It's a private study, but you will have access to it once you pay for the course. And you probably will be able to explore a little bit more on your own. But those are the two main variations. Like, I genuinely thought there were going to be some variations that were going to be a little viable, but as it turns out, this is the best we can do for like a Stonewall structure. um, I mean, for this exact reason, if you opt to play the Stonewall Dutch version of the Dutch defense instead, I I wouldn't be mad at you. Um, if you want to learn how to play the Stonewall Dutch instead of this type of Stonewall, you can check out Levy Rossman's course on Chesley for that one. But I mean, this is the best I could come up with for a reversed Trompowsky at the moment. But I'm pretty sure we can just fine tune this a little bit more. But other than that, I mean, I still made good on my promise that we're going to make the reversed Trompowsky gambit kind of at least somewhat viable. And I don't think we did I don't think we did that terrible of a job. Um, we 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 did we we, we did pretty good for what it was. And if you just go for the, I mean, we did come up with a kind of like a French Trompowsky version, like no French Trompowsky, sorry, it was French Stonewall version, a hybrid version. If we just play like this, I know it's not the exact Stonewall that you were hoping for, but you have fewer. You should be able to get this set up a little faster, and the and you should be able to like you should be able to mow down your opponents pretty well if you're good with it. Yeah, I mean, well, at that point you already have the Stonewall structure already done, so you technically could play like this. You technically could play like this. There's another way you can play this. And then Bishop G5, and then what's the most recent example of winning here? Black winning here. Here we'll pull this one. Here we'll pull this one. And then yeah, he was able to kick out the bishop. He went that way. Just castle. I mean, yeah, you can just push the bishop here. You just push the bishop here. You just kick the bishop away a little bit here. Oh, oh, neat. There's already another game that went like that. It was a bullet game, so take what you will with a grain of salt. But I mean, at that point, you already completed your structure, so you can just play normal chess like this. All right, have fun.